Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. For those of you that I haven't met, my name is Stephen. Welcome to Joyful Retirement, where we talk about faith and family, health, happiness, pursuit of joyful retirement, and making every day count. Talk a little bit about just about everything, really. This week we'll kind of unpack what all transpired and give you updates on some other things I've touched on in previous videos. You guys haven't gone back and seen those. I introduce who I am, what brought me to here. But since only about 12 people have looked at those videos, I'll do just a brief recap. Again, I'm Stephen, relatively new to retirement, had a lengthy career in semiconductors. That came to an end 18 months or so ago. Then I went into a business of my own. I always wanted to go into my own business. I picked a franchise model, which was, in hindsight, was quite a mistake, quite honestly. So just as quick as I got into it, I was looking to get out of it. So, and thankfully I was able to reverse course and get out of that. Maybe we'll do a video on that one day. Pros and cons from my perspective on going into business for yourself, as well as the franchise model pros and cons. But right now, navigate new to me, full-time retirement. I'm enjoying it. I'm 60 years old. It came to me a little bit quicker than I was anticipating, but in hindsight, I wished I'd have pursued it a lot sooner. But for this week, great week. I had touched on earlier that my retirement coincided with the winter season, and which was really difficult. Just can't get outside, can't do anything. I'm in central North Carolina, so we do have some cold weather. Particularly this year, we had some really cold weather, as a lot of you folks did. But I couldn't wait for spring to get here. And you see, spring has sprung. But goodness, I'm in a hoodie and my Wrangler fleeces that I've talked a lot about. I'll leave a link up here for those who might be interested in them. I highly recommend them. But anyway, great week. I'm using retirement to start pursuing a few things that I'd always wanted to do, but career was always in the way. Travel, the grind. One of those is kind of helping out up there with the baseball fields and this YouTube channel. I always wanted to do a YouTube channel. Drone pilot, so I always wanted to learn how to fly those. I was able to practice a little bit this week on it. Big believer in eating healthy and healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit, and just enjoying life, making every day count. And in this fourth quarter of life, which is a relatively new term for me, I'm in the opening minutes of the fourth quarter. And I want it to be the best quarter ever, and I think it will. And to me, it means giving back, making a difference, not just retiring and sitting around, but retiring and helping others, and so that's kind of what my wife and I both have been doing. Spent a lot of time this week helping another friend do some activities. I did a little bit of tractoring, a bit of maintenance on some lawnmowers and things like that. Amy went off and was to visit one of her dear friends, Diane, who's 82 this year, and only to get there and Diane is like, I hit my head a couple days ago and I just don't feel right. Well, Amy, as you'll come to learn, is an ICU trauma nurse, not practicing as much right now, doing other things, but she's, still got her license, still of that mindset, and went into nurse mode, and they ended up at the ER. It was late. Thankfully, Diane only had a concussion and not a brain bleed, which is what my wife had feared, because she's experienced a lot of that type of activity with her mother. So anyway, got a full plate. Retirement is wonderful, but goodness, we're getting kind of busier than ever. We got the farm around here. Got the kids. Got my father, who I've talked about in a previous video, down in Mississippi, that I go down and visit every couple months or so. He's doing well this week, if anybody was wondering. Quite a busy week. My son, who he wants to be a pilot, and he's already got his private. Now he's working on his instrumentation. He's and there's commercial and multi-engine, and so he's in there right now trying to find scholarships to further his pilot career. If anybody has any secrets and tips on that, goodness gracious, we're totally, my son Jacob, myself, and my wife, we're totally overwhelmed with this whole process of trying to figure out how to navigate this pilot path in a non-military way. We looked at that for a while, and I'm still wanting him to pursue, at least get some more information on that. But right now he's wanting to do it through the private path. And man, since post-COVID, the price of accumulating hours is, it's $250 and up an hour. And it's just crazy to get that 1,500 hours. My daughter, she's wanting to pursue a Christian singing and speaking career. She's a wonderful, wonderful girl. She actually started her first day today as a new, freshly minted lifeguard at the local YMCA. So way to go, Jordan. She got her certificate a few weeks ago. Only girl in the class, and now she's actually working there. So that's great. Amy, keeping things going on around here. So anyway, this is kind of this channel, just getting to know you guys. I'm looking for tips and stories from you folks that have successfully navigated through the retirement path and actually achieved, joyful retirement. For many, retirement can be an unknown. It can be even a little bit of a fear. If can you actually retire? And the answer is yes. I mean, there's some things you need to budget and be careful with here. And at least that's kind of the mindset I'm going through right now. You're used to having a big salary coming in or whatever your situation may be, and all of a sudden now you don't have that quite coming in on a regular basis. So you're like a little fearful, but it's going to be fine. It's all going to be good. The big purchases are the ones that I'm still trying to figure out how to deal with those. The unplanned big purchases, like I had mentioned earlier, things seem to want to break all the time. The more stuff you have, the more stuff it breaks. The oven, we're still looking for an oven that broke, and you can do Wi-Fi on your oven now, and air fryer on your oven now, and all this crazy stuff. I just want an oven. I don't want to be able to turn my oven on from 4 states away or the other side of the world, but you can if you want to. Technology gone awry, in my opinion. Let's see, other things this week. Goodness, current events. I'm a big fan of NASA and space exploration. Right out of school, I was able to join an one of the large aerospace firms, and for about 6 years touched on a couple of NASA programs, but I was too young. The Apollo early lunar moon missions were before me. I'm very interested in this current effort called Artemis, which has some linkage to the Apollo program from a Greek mythology standpoint, if I'm not mistaken on that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But anyway, we have a launch window coming up April the 1st. They had some previous fueling line issues within the last month. That's all resolved. So they got 4 astronauts with a April 1st planned launch, and this initial this is, I guess, the second launch. Artemis 2 is what it's being called. It's not actually going to touch down on the moon. They're going to actually go around the moon. It's more to test out the spacecraft and all, but it's a big deal, and so I really am looking forward to that. So if you guys would like to hear more about it, or maybe you got more information on it than I do, leave some comments below. I'm trying to keep up with that. Wish I could travel down to Florida to see the launch, but you just never know. I mean, this is complex, right? So you travel all the way down there, and the mission gets scrubbed or whatever. But yeah, I missed out on all the early Apollo stuff. Now I did get to I guess enjoy the benefits of some of the the Jetsons. The cartoons was a spinoff, or was a result of that era. If anybody remembers the Jetsons, oh goodness, I can name all the characters right now. I Dream of Jeannie. Oh goodness, Barbara Eden. Come on, guys. Let's see what else. I don't know, just a joyful week. Spring seems to have taken a little bit of a back seat, particularly today. So I'm ready for the warm weather to get here and stay. Just being a boy from Mississippi, this cold weather just, especially as the older I get, I just stay cold all the time. And but anyway, joyful week. Hope the same for you guys. I was telling my wife, Amy, earlier, I was like, man, marriage in retirement, it's 24/7. You don't get away from one another. And she's like, yeah, I know. She said, you've been retired for almost 2 years. I'm like, 2 years? And she's like, yeah, that's when your semiconductor, you exited the semiconductor industry. And I said, yeah, but I had that business we were trying to run. That counts for something. She's like, yeah, but you're running it from the house. I saw you every day. But what I will say about some funny things that even after 25, 26 years of marriage, man, just like Amy gets up before me typically because she's got stuff to do out at the barn with the horse. But there's occasions when I'll get up first. And like this week, I got up, it's still dark outside. I was like, oh man, that first cup of coffee, I'm sitting there, it's dark, and I'm kind of, the sun is just starting to creep up a little bit. And it's like, man, what a magical moment. You got your quiet time, you do your devotions, and just quiet time, just thinking about the world and life, and, talking with God and Jesus, and just having an enjoyable time. And flip, the light comes on, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, it's dark. I'm like, it's the magic hour. The sun's creeping up. It's coffee time. Come on. So fortunately, she turned the light back off. But just those little marriage and retirement things that just like, oh no, goodness. What was another one this week? Oh, now this one's kind of been around for a while, but I would only occasionally bump into this one. But my wife, being a nurse, man, she can wrap leftovers like it's no tomorrow. Like, I mean, it's textbook surgical wound prep wrapping. It's like, this is no joke. If I go get something out of the refrigerator that's wrapped in that clear wrap, saran wrap, what we call it as a kid, I literally, this is no joke, I have to use my pocket knife to cut it, because there's no way to find where that thing stops, or where it starts, and so you can unwrap it the way she wraps things. So I just cut it, and then I'll cheat and put one little layer back over top of it. So if you guys got any more funny marriage, little funny things that you noticed when you went into retirement, leave me a comment below. Something else I need some help on is I want to grow tomatoes this year. And I do know my favorite tomato is called the Cherokee Purple. It's the most flavorful tomato out there. But here, I recently learned that the reason you can't buy them in grocery stores is because they're ugly. This is no joke. The produce managers or whatever, or whoever makes decisions on what produce to put in a store, they won't put those in there because they're not a pretty tomato. I kid you not. They're kind of like, they got crooks and crinks and all this kind of stuff, maybe even some open, they're not a very pretty tomato, but they are the most flavorful, if you ask my opinion. It's called the Cherokee Purple. So anyway, I want to grow some this year, but I don't know when to plant them. Everything I read kind of gives me mixed, it's too early right now, I guess. Someone said, oh, tax day is when you do it. That way, you're beyond the frost. And there are some guys in the community, some farmers I'm gonna get up with. When they plant, then I'm gonna plant. But tomatoes, what is your favorite tomato, and do you grow your own? Leave me a comment below. Let's see, what else we got going on? Reading, I finished my other book that I had mentioned called Halftime. I got another book that a friend of mine gave me, Going Till You're Gone by Gary Miller. Rethinking Retirement, a kingdom-focused vision in midlife and beyond. This kind of goes along with that fourth quarter in life that I was talking about giving back and, Christian-based, joyful retirement. And I don't know where this is headed. I started it last night, got through the first few pages or whatever. And, I like it because it's big words. I'm not a big book reader, so I need big words and short chapters, and it fits that. And I like the subject matter, so we'll see. But if you have other ideas, just this, navigating into this fourth quarter of life in a joyful, faith-based, way, let me know. Something else that come across my radar this week is basically Stoicism, I think is how you say it. And it doesn't really mesh with Christian principles aligned one-to-one, but it is a very healthy way of thinking, or don't get angry, and, a balance of life with nature, etc. And so those kind of things interest me too. And it's older than Christianity, if I remember correctly, the story I was being told, maybe 300 BC. So anyway, I just want a joyful, low stress, no temper, no anger life, and I want to help others achieve that as well. So if you got tips and secrets on how to do that, leave them in the comments below. Didn't make it to the gym this week. Was busy with the little part-time job that started and helping a few others and some other things that come up. And I miss going to the gym. I was able to get a lot of physical work in, helping others and doing some other things. So from that perspective, I'm okay, but I miss going to the gym. There's a certain motivation, I guess, or a feeling of accomplishment of actually going to the gym. And so I encourage you guys out there and ladies, do something physical, whether it's walking or I had mentioned previously, some of the best conditioned athletes in the world didn't rely on the gym atmosphere. Like Herschel Walker comes to mind, Bo Jackson, and they did a lot of there's dips and push-ups and sit-ups. If you can't do all of that, you have physical reasons why you can't do all that. Do something, sit in a chair and do some things. Just get get your body healthy, get your mind healthy, and I think that's what I'm thinking is going to lead to this joyful existence, if you will, this joyful life. Anyway, I look forward to hearing how your guys' week went, and I'll continue unpacking how my week goes, and and how things in pursuing different avenues here and to talk about. Be encouraged, right? Be encouraged. Be an encourager. That's about it for this week. I'll sign off and say, talk to Jesus, be joyful, be an encourager, be encouraged. And I always say drink coffee. Coffee helps. Bye-bye. Good stuff.